có cái slide á. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Can you hear me? Today is Thursday, November 27, the year 2025. and we are at the Great Togetherness Meditation Hall. Welcome to Thanksgiving Day. I'm glad you can be with us celebrating Thanksgiving. We have a few technical difficulties, hopefully resolved. Can you adjust? You hear me? Okay. So let's listen to three sounds of the bell. You can start the session. Good morning, dear Thầy, dear Sangha, dear friends. Welcome to Thanksgiving at Blue Cliff Monastery. And we are glad we can host you to come and celebrate Thanksgiving with us. As you know, I'm a refugee and I'm an immigrant. I came to this country in 1975. And just like the pilgrim, usually my first 1 or 2 years, I was kind of a foreigner, unfamiliar with the land and the people, the culture. And thanks to many people who came before, they accept me, they guide me through, and they help me to adapt to the land of the U.S. So for that, I feel very grateful. So I'm glad we have the traditional of Thanksgiving dinner or lunch to celebrate and to thank those people who help us through. So the talk I shared was inspired a little bit about my trip to Europe, to France and to Switzerland, to visit my blood family, my brother and sister, and have a different change of culture and adaptation, and of course now we also have a Plumberlish tradition culture as well, besides the U.S. culture and Vietnamese culture. I think I will stand up. So, we are like a creature of habit. We develop some ritual routine for us to be familiar with our environment. And whenever we change environment, we are a little bit taken back. We have to adapt to our culture. For example, I landed in Paris, and I'm set an appointment to see some monastic and some my nephew and maybe a few high school friends. And I need to wake up early because France has 6 hours ahead of us. So to take advantage of the full day, I need to have breakfast at 7 and maybe have lunch at 8 and then start to go on the road to visit different things. But that means to me, my body was thinking about waking up at 1 in the morning and maybe have a breakfast at 2 in the morning. So it takes a little bit adjustment to do that for a few days. So for me, I was traveling by myself because it's kind of hard to have a second body all along with all the cost of travel and so on. And I need to move to a different place from time to time to visit. So for me, my routine is to wake up in the morning and to have several cups of tea, just to stabilize myself and to be mindful, and then to plan for my day. And then I would take a short walk outside to buy some breads, something for breakfast, and I go back and I have breakfast. And then before I go out to visit the sightseeing. So to me, I thought it's very appropriate for me to develop some ritual, some tradition to anchor myself, so I won't be swayed by many difficulty in life, So I need to travel myself, so I have to have a jet lag, and also I have to make an appointment to see my friend, my family, and so on, and whenever they're available. For many of them, they need to work during the day, so they can only be available in a late afternoon or evening to make an appointment to see them. So I think one of the things I was able to see is the Cathedral of Notre Dame of Paris. I read a little bit of history. It was built around 1300, maybe 800 years something ago. And at that time, it was very small, and they built the highest in the city of Paris, because that is, at that time, the headquarters of the king and all the intellectual in Paris. So they built one of the highest cathedrals in France in those days. And later on, they built a higher cathedral at some other place as well. And it's very interesting because during the French Revolution, around 1780 something, there were many people who were angry with the king and the monastic. So actually they destroyed the cathedral, Notre Dame of Paris. And then there were some architects that come to rebuild them again. And then they built higher, bigger as well. And when I was visiting my family, my sister, my brother, I got the chance to visit many times the Cathedral Notre Dame de Paris. And I didn't pay attention because I take it for granted until 2019. So I heard there was a big fire that kind of collapsed the whole cathedral. The roof, everything caved in because there were a real big fire. So it's completely more or less destroyed, except the wall and maybe the front panel. So the French were very proud of their heritage. That was the symbol. You can hear from Victor Hugo, Les Miserables, with Quasimodo and Esmeralda, all the famous film and play you have. So they quickly raised funds to rebuild the Cathedral of Notre Dame de Paris. Just like the World Trade Center, it was taken down, and they said, well, that's the pride of the country. We have to raise funds and we have to rebuild them. And they quickly get all the engineer, all the expert in the Freemasonry and so on, and they raise the fund and they rebuild it. And last year, 2024, they finished it and they reopened. So I was very lucky to reserve a place in line so I can go and take a look at the Cathedral Notre Dame de Paris. And they did a wonderful job. They preserved the tradition. And they tried to keep as much as possible the tradition of the cathedral in France, in Paris. But inside they modernized a little bit more to make it fireproof, to make it solid and lighter material than and in some area they preserve the same carpentry, like the roof near the nave, I think. It's very heavy. They call the forest charpente, because they keep it in wooden structure, even though, so they have to spray some retardant material in case another fire happened to the cathedral. So I thought inspired of it because in a way, our mind, we have to do the same thing. We have to try to conserve as much as possible the tradition, the culture that we inherit from our parents, our ancestors, our culture, but also we have to modernize and renew them in some way while keeping the tradition. We are happy that our teacher is very good with that. He keeps almost all the tradition of the Vietnamese Buddhist culture, but he simplified. He make it more simple. For example, like we used to light up a lot of incense, and the smoke is everywhere if you go to many Vietnamese monastery. But usually our teachers say, well, we have 3 altars, so we need only three stick incense, that's enough. Just symbolic, one for the Buddha, or one for the ancestor, or and one for the current ancestor, which is our teacher. And that is enough. So I think in a sense, just like the Cathedral of Paris, we could do the same with many in our life of the tradition we have learned, and also how we can improve on the old one. So in Buddhism, in many ceremonies, we have what we call the 4 touching of the earth. They call the 4 gratitude. So the gratitude toward our blood ancestor, DNA, and so our parents is the latest ancestor. We have a grandparent, we have a great-grandparent, and so on. I think I calculated, somebody mentioned, in order for me or for us to exist, you need about 1,000 pre-ancestor from 10 generations. You just add parent, grandparent, and then grandparent, like four grandparents, and then 8 great-grandparents, and then 16 great-grandparents, and so on. You can improve a lot. So to me, we inherit a lot from the lineage of our blood ancestor. Okay. So I don't have room to have all four lined up here. So I just do the first two, which is the blood ancestor and the spiritual ancestor. So to me, when I look back about my parent, my lineage of blood ancestor, I found out that I have a great-great-grandmother who is of Chinese origin as well. She's from the descendant of the Ming dynasty. And when the Qing took over China, they didn't want to serve under the Qing dynasty. So they immigrate to Vietnam, to South Vietnam, and then they settle. And they are the intellectual official who served under the Ming dynasty. So they quickly adapt to the society in Vietnam, and they intermarry with the current occupant of South Vietnam. So in a sense, somehow I inherit a little bit of a Chinese ancestry. Besides, of course, it would be like 5% Chinese, and the other is the Vietnamese. So we do have a tradition culture when I grew up, the first 20 years in Vietnam, and also my ancestry also is of French tradition as well. My father came to Paris, to France, to study between 1922 to 1925, and he studied photography in Beaux-Arts art school. So he brought back photography back to Vietnam, and he had to set up different photo studio, and he helped his friend relative to set up other photo studio in other city in Vietnam. So we ended up, he traveled a lot to Europe, and I think when after the World War II, when things stabilized, he decided to settle in France. So he lived in France with my mom and my elder brother for about 5 years. And 3 of my brother and sister are born in France. So actually, when one of my second brother came back to France to study, he repatriated. He claimed his French citizen. And after the Geneva Conference in 1954, my parents decided that they would move back to Vietnam to help to rebuild South Vietnam. So I was born in Vietnam. So I think somehow this French ancestry I couldn't ignore, because somehow it influenced my life a lot. All my grow up, I went to bilingual school. Our teacher, actually, he was in bilingual school, so he learned French when he was small too. And then also, when I go, I have a French teacher who taught me French language, and also intellectual ancestor as well. All the things I learned in school, whether it's primary school, middle school, high school, and later on I met our teacher. So that represents the spiritual Dharma ancestor, and I'm very glad because our teacher is very good teacher, and he's very intelligent. He learned to combine many culture, many tradition together, and to form the teaching of Plum Village. So I inherit that lot, and along with that, also we have Indian tradition, because our teacher learned from various Indian Buddhist teacher who brought the teaching to China and then to Vietnam. And in 2018, I got a chance to visit India for 5 weeks. So we went for 3 weeks of teaching, sharing the Dharma with various schools and university. And the last 2 weeks, we do a pilgrimage toward the greatest site of the Buddha in India. So among that intellectual ancestor, we have all Vietnamese, Chinese, Indian, and French as well. And also I learned about ethics, moral in school. I think to me that, I don't know whether there's any teaching of ethical conduct or moral in school. I remember when I was in high school, there were several classes of it. They talk civic duty, moral. That means you contribute to the society, you need to be responsible toward the society. Any act you do can affect the people around you, so you have to have ethical conduct. So in Plum Village, we develop what we call 5 mindfulness training, which is a part of global ethics or ethical conduct. And of course, when I land in the US, I inherit from the land of the ancestor. So of course, they have immigrants who came and settled and rebuilt this country. But besides that, we don't talk a lot, but there are a lot of Aborigine, native Indian, or native people who live on the land. I used to live in Philadelphia, and the tribe there is Lenape. I don't know Lenape, and I don't know whether, I forgot the name of the tribe in the New York State, but there used to be like 100,000 people live in the land where we are now. And slowly, because of different policy, they've been moved to reserve and been moved to the west and so on. So we need to honor that ancestry as well. Namely, one of the traditions of Thanksgiving dinner have to do with the pilgrim who came to Massachusetts area, and at that time, the first year they didn't have that much to eat. So the native Aborigine people showed them how to cultivate the land, and after the harvest, they make a dinner feast to thank the native for helping them to resettle in the US and so on. So I think to me, also the whole structure of the society, hospital, highway, we used to have a small road, and now we have a railroad, we have an airplane, we have all kinds of things to help to modernize our society. So for that, we are very grateful for all the people who came before us, all the pioneers, and also for various culture too. One of the things, I live in the US for maybe 40-something years now, and I still don't fully understand the US because there are so many cultures. In New York, for example, we have a lot of French culture who live in New York City. And we have a Chinese culture, we have a Vietnamese culture now, we have maybe close to 3 million Vietnamese immigrants and who live in the US now, and various other culture as well. And also I inherit from education ancestor. I remember I was in international service office in Temple University, and my first 2 years, many people are very helpful to invite me to Thanksgiving dinner in their home. I remember the McElwain family. They are Irish Catholic, and they adopt 2 Vietnamese children. So they want to invite me for dinner on my first year to eat dinner with them and to have a certain communication with the children that they adopt, the Vietnamese children. And the second year, I think it was also a Catholic woman who worked at the office in the national service. And later on, I contact her after I become a monastic. I came back to Vermont at the time, and I still have my old address book, so I try to search. And I found out she become a Catholic nun. So we share, it's so wonderful. I become a Buddhist monk, she become a Catholic nun. But at that time, she was helping to settle into America. So those are also my friends, my co-practitioner, and also I inherit from many elder brother sister who ordained before me and lead me the way. I have many mentors like Thầy Phap Brother Dharma, Thầy Nguyễn Hải. He taught me the precepts, and I think Thầy Phap Dũng and many other elder brother sister who helped me to understand the Dharma, to practice mindfulness concentration inside. So for that, I'm very grateful for all of them. And of course, all the monks and nuns who have been coming to Blue Cliff Monastery for the last 18 years. Some stay, some go some other place, but also we help each other with the practice. And then this part here is for the all living beings, all the other people who help us. So we look at the land in the forest, the dead leaf, and there were many compositions of mineral that form from the dead leaf, from the dead trees, and so on. And I read before, even the first 1 million something billion years ago, the earth didn't have oxygen. So actually, the creatures who live are living on nitrogen and other gas, but not oxygen. So oxygen will be deadly for them. And slowly, the moss is the one who grow on land, on the rocks, when you can see in the sea, and they create slowly chlorophyll, and they filter using carbon dioxide and so on, and they produce nitrogen and oxygen and so on. And slowly it shifts, so it becomes oxygen environment. And then all the ancestors that use oxygen, mainly after that will be like the reptile and then the mammal and become of us. So for that, also in our cell, we have many host cells like mitochondria that generate energy for us to live on. So many of these things, we can do research and we can be grateful for all the things that we have. And of course, the plant, the mineral, animal. And also I add, our teacher has also the fifth gratitude. The gratitude toward disciple, toward the offspring, toward younger brother, sister, who help us to in the practice, who help to build the Sangha. And also for all of you who come regularly to Blue Cliff Monastery to practice with us. Every time you come here, you infuse with the collective energy of the practice. And I see very clearly when I get a chance to visit Maple Forest Monastery in Vermont. We used to be there for 9 years before we bought the place, we moved down here. And I was there for the last 2 years before we moved down in 2007. And I noticed that the land, the place, the environment are there, but because they have a lack of practitioner, it doesn't have that kind of energy when I used to be practicing there. So imagine this place, if it got deserted, it got abandoned, nobody come to visit, nobody come to practice, slowly the energy of the practice depleted. So I think to me, by us continuing practicing in this hall, in all the building and walking mindfully all around the ground, we create a living environment for the practice for us. So with all the gratitude, I think I like these trees a lot. Some brother and sister would make the trees. And I would say about the 4 gratitude here is the root here, which you don't see them. And we help to build a solid trunk, which is like a sangha type of thing. And then we produce flower, fruit up here. And also mainly the interconnection with other things. Also they have leaf here. And also the leaf are the offspring, but also the leaf are the mother of the tree, because they feed the tree through the chlorophyll and the thing. They bring energy. So they meet from the energy from the leaf down at from energy from the root, and they mix together and they revitalize the tree. So in the sense, the same thing, we receive a lot of gratitude from our ancestor, but also we need to repay the gratitude. So we try to give a sense of offering something in return from the gratitude that we have. So in Buddhism, we have what we call practice the 3 virtues. I think in Vietnamese we call it ân đức, with the gratitude of virtue of gratitude, and đoạn đức, virtue of letting go, and also virtue of insight, trí đức. So we use mindfulness, concentration, and insight to help us to generate those fruit that we offer to the other people. So first of all, letting go is we letting go of our negative habit energy that we might inherited from our parents, because our ancestors sometimes give us a good mental formation, good energy, but sometimes they have their own negative habit energy, like anger, discrimination, and so on, violence, and so we need to understand that, and we need how to transform them for the better of ourselves and the better of our family, the better of our offspring, and also the better for the society. So having letting go is very good, and also we express the gratitude to help other people. I remember we have a song we sing in Plumelish. In gratitude, you have watered seed of love in me, and I will water the seed of love in someone else. So I think that's the idea of spreading our gratitude, and also the inside of insight. I think it's very important for us to be intelligent and to know what we can keep as a tradition, as culture, and what we can improve on that. So for that, we need a lot of insight. We can be more liberated, we be awakened to our human nature. And sometimes it seems like liberation, awakening seems to be something difficult, but actually it's not that difficult. Because, for example, like the fact that I'm alive, the fact that I have a heartbeat that are healthy, the fact that I have a healthy lungs. I used to have a very bad kind of bronchitis, almost died many times. So I still have kind of allergy to bronchi. So for me to be able to breathe mindfully, I think it's a miracle already. So that's why often our teachers say about the miracle of being alive. We think that we need something very difficult to understand in order to be liberated. And also just as simple that we have to appreciate our health, our friends being together, the presence of each other, our loved one. I think when I was young, I'm more active. I'm very sportive. I run, I swim, everything. But I didn't appreciate my youth until like now. I appreciate more because my knee cranked, my other thing. So I found that I wish somehow I would have that set of mind when I was young to really enjoy and appreciate it. So sometimes having a mindfulness concentration inside help us a lot to understand that. Oh, that's a different one. So one of the four fruit of the practice that we could also practice in recognition of the people who help us and to be beneficial for other people. And our teacher taught us about that. The first fruit of the practice is we have to practice to arrive and be at home. Đã về, đã tới. So I think we have to realize our nature, that we don't no longer looking for something else. We are already what we want to become. And what he challenged us to practice every day, arriving at the present moment and being at home with yourself. So I think to me, using mindfulness concentration inside, we can practice arriving at the present moment, and also to enjoy, to dwell happily in the present moment. That's the second fruit of Brahmanish practice. And we need to treasure and to see the wonder of life at the present moment, because the past is already gone and the future is not yet to come, and we have only the present moment at the moment. So we need to fully establish ourselves in the present moment and appreciate the present moment, being with each other. We know the 5 remembrance, what we will grow old, eventually we will go sick one way or the other, and every time we will die, and all our loved ones, the one we cherish, eventually will go away, so we will lose them. And the only thing that we are sure is our continuation, which is the continuation of our thought, continuation of our mindful speech, and also a continuation of our mindful action, bodily action. So that way, those are our offspring, our continuation. So we treasure at the present moment, so only we send out positive seed of continuation out to other people. So that way, dwelling happily at the present moment is something very important. And also, we also know the tương tức, interconnected of the three time between the past, the present, and the future. And just like I mentioned, if I look at the back at my second year of Thanksgiving in the U.S., one of the lady invited me to her home with friends to practice Thanksgiving dinner together. And back in 2005, when I came back to the U.S., I called her and I thank her for her helping me to have a first few Thanksgiving in the U.S. And then I found out she was a Catholic nun, and I become a Buddhist monk. So now I'm sharing with you at the present moment here, and they're all interconnected between the past, the present, and the future too. And also, when we realize all these three fruit, also we come to the liberation of our thought about that we have birth and death. And we know how to continue beyond ourselves through the mindful thought that we share, mindful Dharma talk, mindful speech, and mindful action. And we know we continue, just like our teacher, his body is somewhere else, outside in the grass. We spread his ash everywhere here. But also we know his continuation is with us, with our lay friend, with our monastic who follow the practice of mindfulness, concentration, insight. So every time we have a mindful step, we have mindful breathing, we carry our teacher along with us. So in a sense, there are no birth, no death. It's just like the cloud can never die. The cloud will change different appearance. It could become rain, it could become snow, it could become lake, it could become river, it could become the sea, it could become the tea, it could become a lot of things, you know. So knowing that we need to keep the best of ourselves, as teaching from our tradition, our culture, but whenever the tradition and culture become too rigid, too dogmatic, unwise, we need to be able to change it and to modify and to change it. So the two factors in Buddhism, the teaching should be according to the truth, to the Dharma, to the teaching of the Buddha, but also you need to change, adapt to the proper situation. So I think it's a fine line between the practice, because you modernize too much, you lose the better part of the tradition. But you stick repeating the same thing of the old tradition, maybe 20 times, 30 generations, it become fixed, it become dogmatic, and it loses the relevance to the need of the environment, to the new society. So somehow we have to adapt ourselves and changing with the environment. And the last four here, I think this is the four principles of the order into being. Non-attachment to view, and experimentation. Be present with life. Life can teach you beside the text, and also to have a skillful means, to have a new understanding, and to adapt to share the Dharma. Just like, for example, I share today having to do with Thanksgiving and have to gratitude. So I would focus only on that part of gratitude and sharing. And the best is also to know how to preserve the tradition and also to modify, to change, is to have insight. If you have insight, if you have wisdom, then you can adapt, you can use the material of the tradition, the past, and you can modify, you can change them to share the Dharma that are appropriate for our time. And also, one of the fruit that we can do is very easy, and here there's no limit to that. We practice loving kindness, bringing joy and happiness to each other. And also we practice having compassion, caring, and also removing the suffering, change the suffering from other people. And that the second fruit of the practice, which is the compassion. And also to have altruistic joy and happiness. We can share the Dharma, we can share the teaching, but sometimes we need to be light, we need to be happy with ourselves, and we need to rejoice in the happiness of others. We help each other. If we teach the Dharma and we become so morose, so sad, it's not inspiring to other people. So in our community, luckily we help each other a lot to become fresh, to become light, and become joyful and happy. And of course, the non-discrimination. We should be inclusive of all beings, not discriminate them because of the skin color or because they are poor or rich or thing. And because from one culture to the other, there's no better control than the other. We all equal under nature. And we need to learn how to respect, and we learn from each other. So, dear Thầy, dear Sangha, I have shared with you about my experience when I travel to Europe, having 3 or 4 culture. And also the additional culture is we call the monastic culture of always practicing mindfulness, concentration, insight to help to generate that insight, that to help us to guide it through our life and help each other. And also I share about how I learn about different culture, and I grew up in Vietnam for 20 years, but then I also learned a lot about the French culture. So I'm more liberal. I'm not stuck to Vietnamese culture. And when I came in the U.S., I was taking a break, but also I learned how to adapt to American culture. And I think now I'm more American than Vietnamese because I learned how to be more straight. I think actually South Vietnamese are more straight. They're not convoluted. They say what they think right away. They're not a more direct approach. And I think from the U.S. I learned it's more direct approach. Of course, you need to be polite, you need to be kind, but also you don't need to be beat the bush around, for so long, things like that. And also going back to my Vietnamese and Chinese culture, I took some Mandarin, so I learned a little bit of Chinese culture because there are many good things in Chinese culture. Vietnamese are afraid of China because they always want to invade Vietnamese and they are bully other people around. But also, I have a lot of friends from China, and I know very good Chinese friends, so we can learn a lot from that culture. And of course, I learned some Spanish too, so I learned to appreciate the Hispanic cultures. So I learned about four gratitude, which is the root of these three, of the blood ancestor, of the spiritual ancestor, of the land ancestor, and also of the plant minerals, and also all the cells and things. And sometimes they are interconnected because my mother, actually, she's my blood ancestor because she gave birth to me and she taught me. But she's also my educational ancestor and spiritual ancestor because I remember when I was young, she taught me the multiplication table just to make sure I am better in mathematics. And also later on, after my father passed away, she became a Buddhist nun before me. So actually, she's my elder Dharma sister. So she also my spiritual ancestor, teaching Buddhism to me. And also she's my land ancestor because she settled in Switzerland, and then she learned how to show me the goodness of the Swiss society, culture, things like that, when I come to visit her in Europe. So there are many intertwined between different ancestors. It's just not like you have to compartmentalize everything. And also you have a gratitude. So to repay the gratitude, we practice the three virtue of gratitude, virtue of letting go, and virtue of insight. And also we practice the four fruit of the Brahmilish practice by practicing arriving and at home at any moment, and to be able to dwell happily in the present moment, and also to see the interconnected between the past, the present, and the future, and to radiate our joy and happiness in the present moment that can go back to the past and go back to the future to heal ourselves and other people as well. And also to realize that the let go of the notion of birth and death, to be liberated from the notion of birth and death, meaning no birth and death. When we say no birth and death, that doesn't mean there's no birth and death. In the historical dimension, there is a birth and death. Like our teacher, he passed away. But in the ultimate dimension, there's no birth and death because he's still with us. He's sharing with us here through me, through many monastic, and through the continued teaching. And also we talk about the four immeasurable love that we can spread out all over to other people, being it loving kindness, compassion, joyfulness, equanimity, non-discrimination, embracing inclusiveness with our people. So I hope to be able to share with you and encourage you in a practice, and also to have a gratitude to be able to live here in the U.S. Right now in middle of Vietnam, they have a lot of flood, there's a lot of landslide, a lot of people die, a lot of people think. So for us, it's a blessing to be able to live in this country and to be able to share the Dharma freely and to help each other through the practice. Thank you very much for your listening. So let's listen to the free sound of the bell.